You know that feeling when your heart is racing, pounding so hard you can almost hear it in your ears, but your feet are glued to the ground, as if they've become one with the earth beneath you? That's exactly what happened to me one eerie night last year in New Mexico, a place where legends and reality often blur. It all started innocently enough when my friend and I decided to hang out at our favorite park by the river, a spot we had visited countless times before. It was around 10:30 p.m., and I had this gut feeling that I should have known better, a sense of foreboding that I couldn't quite shake off. After all, I grew up with the legend of La Llorona, the weeping woman whose cries are said to haunt the rivers and lakes of the Southwest. But hey, I'd been there at night countless times before. So what could go wrong, right? It was just another night out with a friend, or so I thought. To get to the playground, we had to park on the other side of a highway and walk underneath an overpass, a route that had always felt safe and familiar. The parking lot, the path, and the playground are all right on the riverbank, a serene setting that belied the terror that awaited us. When we got there, everything was just as we remembered, silent and calm, the kind of quiet that wraps around you like a comforting blanket. We were laughing, chatting, enjoying the peace of the night. About 30 minutes later, the mood shifted dramatically, as if the air itself had thickened with tension. Out of nowhere, we heard wailing, a sound so haunting it seemed to pierce the very fabric of the night. Not just any wailing, but a gut-wrenching cry for help. Ayúdame! The desperation in the voice was palpable, sending chills down my spine. It sounded like it was less than 50 feet away. My heart seized up, and I felt a cold sweat break out on my forehead. I immediately looked towards the overpass, my eyes straining to make sense of the shadows. And there, underneath, I saw it. A figure dressed in white, moving with an otherworldly grace. A figure dressed in white, running straight into the water, as if drawn by some unseen force. My friend and I were paralyzed with fear, our bodies refusing to obey the primal urge to flee. Now, you'd think we'd head back the way we came, right? Wrong. Our instincts were overridden by sheer panic. Instead of going back under the overpass, we made a split-second decision to run across the highway, our feet pounding the pavement in a desperate bid for safety. Thankfully, it's a pretty rural area and there were no cars at that time of night, the road eerily empty as if the world had paused for our terror. We sprinted to the car as fast as we could and didn't look back, our breaths coming in ragged gasps as we fumbled with the keys. To this day, I haven't returned to that park at night, the memory of that night forever etched in my mind. Honestly, I don't think I ever will. The fear is too real, too raw. The story of La Llorona was just a tale I grew up with. Until it wasn't. It became a part of my reality that night. Now, it's a chilling reality I'll never forget. A haunting memory that lingers at the edge of my consciousness. So if you ever find yourself near a river late at night, remember my story. Just remember, La Llorona might be closer than you think. Her cries might pierce the night when you least expect it. Stay safe and maybe stick to daylight hours. The sun has a way of keeping the shadows at bay. Trust me, it's better that way. Some legends are best left undisturbed.